Hello guys, welcome to my channel Lucid Fanfic, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Izuku Midoriya. You know the story, not all men are created equal blah blah blah, but what if the sludge villain attacks someone else? Izuku Midoriya has had probably the worst day in a while. His journal was burned. He was attacked by a villain, and now All Might, the #1 hero, didn't believe in him. How can this day get anywhere? When he saw who the sludge villain again. How I thought All Might stopped him, and the villain was holding hostage. It was a small blue man. It looks like they met their match. Plus, the villain captured some blue guy. Things aren't looking good for him, sad multiple bystanders. Why isn't All Might doing anything? Wait, he can't power up yet, and none of the other heroes have the quirks to stop the sludge monster. It's my fault. I'm sorry. So sorry. All Might help will show up and save the day. I'm sure someone, a hero, will come soon. If he dies, it's all my fault. If I could do something. Wait, my legs, they are moving on their own. Izuku ran towards the villain, a thing that none of the heroes they're done just watching the man die. No, you idiot. Stop. You're gonna get yourself killed, said multiple heroes, worrying for the boy. What am I doing? Why am I running? Why can't I stop? Midoriya asked himself. Midoriya was in front of the villain, trying his all to save the blue man. That's it, I have had enough, said the sludge villain, clearly pissed at the green-haired boy. Izuku thought it was all over, his life and hopes. Until he appeared, All Might. I really am pathetic. Everyone is always testing themselves, throwing themselves into danger for the greater good. That is the sign of a true hero, All Might yelled with enthusiasm, getting ready to use his signature attack. Detroit Smash. All Might punched the sludge villain with such power that it changed the weather. Afterwards, after being scolded by some people for being so reckless, walked home and even met Bakugo. So you down there helping that blue guy. Stop trying to be a hero. You were just getting in All Might's way. Got it, Deku? Bakugo yelled at Izuku and quickly left. Izuku was confused by Bakugo's sudden appearance. Suddenly, the blue man from the sludge villain incident suddenly appeared. What, you just came out of nowhere? Is that your quirk? Izuku said, shocked by the small blue man. Greetings. I am Pybra from the planet of Yardrat. I came to this planet to examine human culture. I got to say I'm impressed with Earth, especially the heroes. But most importantly, I have come to thank you for helping me against the villain. The Yardration introduced himself. Wait, you an alien? They exist. But why come to me? I got in the way of All Might. Why me? Izuku was extremely shocked by the existence of aliens. Well, you did save me when others just sat there. Now let me offer you something, young Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya, Izuku answered. Well, Midoriya, how would you like to train under me on my home planet? As thank you for saving me, Pybra said. What? I said I would like to train you on my home planet, Pybra repeated. Why, yes, I know that, but training on another planet. I need to ask my mom about this. I can't just go to space without giving her a heart attack. And also I need to go to school. Izuku explained. I see. I can teleport you quickly from Earth to Yardrat instantly using my technique, so no worries. The blue Yardrat understood. So it's not a quirk. It's something you can learn? Said an interested Izuku. Indeed. Within months you should be able to learn spirit control, especially with such determination as yours. Mom? Izuku asked with care in his voice. Yes, Izuku. What is it? Oh, who is that? Inko wondered, noticing the small blue Yardrat. His Pybra. He is going to train me so I can live up to my dream of becoming a hero, Izuku said nervously. Yes, miss, you boy has incredible potential. Even without a quirk, he will be a great hero, Pybra stated. Sure, Izuku, if this man truly is going to help you become a hero and go to UA, then I will support you. Just please be careful, said Inko with tears in her eyes. Then Izuku began his training with Pybra. Are you ready, Midoriya? Pybra asked. Yep, I should have everything, said Izuku, carrying his signature yellow backpack. Now hold on to my shoulder, Pybra asked. Okay, now what? Before Izuku could finish, he was teleported to Yardrat. Now Izuku saw a pink sky and weird-looking buildings. Whoa, this is Yardrat, how it's so strange, Izuku said, taking in the new world. It's a good thing this planet has oxygen because he would be suffocating right now. Indeed, now your first lesson will be in ki control, Pybra told. Ki? Izuku asked. It's a thing that exists in every being, so we will be teaching you how to control your ki first, Piper answered. The next month, Izuku was educated in ki control, learning how to sense and even discover how to use ki blast. Although it is extremely draining on Izuku's body, who was fairly skinny and not used to such power. For the next 4 months, he learned instant transmission, where he could teleport himself and others to places and people, which led to an awkward meeting to say the least. Mitsuki Bakugo was making dinner until she heard what the DQ get the hell out of my house. Katsuki screamed sorry. The quiet voice of what seemed to be Izuku said before disappearing. Then it hit Bakugo. DQ has a quirk? Has he be hiding it from him? Does he think he is better than him? It's just some shitty teleportation quirk anyway. I'm the next one after all. After that awkward meeting, Izuku had learned to use instant transmission better. For the next 5 months, he learned various other techniques such as growth, where he can increase the size of himself, cloning technique, where he learned to clone himself up to 3 times. Izuku had arrived at the gates of UA for the entrance exam wearing Yardrat armor to honor his teacher for teaching his techniques to him. With this power, he is going to achieve his dreams. He even spoke to a cute girl, probably the first girls his age he has spoken to in years. He is to go through 2 tests, the written exam and physical exam. The written exam is to test the person's intelligence, while the physical test is to gain points in a simulated city. Izuku was confident he passed the written exam, but the physical exam would be tough. Although Izuku was stressed by the exam, he remembered Pibera's teachings to focus and don't let anything else get in the way. Even a blue-haired boy noticed his calmness and respected his calmness. He was focused, not even paying attention to the world around him. Well, except Pro Hero Present MIC informing the examinees, which caught Izuku off guard. As it says in the application requirements, you listeners will be conducting 10-minute mock urban battles after this. 3 different types of foe villains are stationed in each battle center. You earn points for each of them based on their level of difficulty. Your goal, dear listeners, is to use your quirks to earn points by immobilizing the foe villains, the pro hero said. 1 point was for beating easy difficulty villains. 2 points was for beating medium difficulty villains. 3 points for beating hard difficulty villains. Right, let's start. Present MIC began the exam, catching everyone off guard with a lack of countdown. Get moving. There are no countdowns in real battles. Run. Listeners, you're wasting precious airtime here. Present MIC informed the students, with everyone except Izuku running. Oh! Izuku yelled in panic, putting his fingers on his forehead to find a target. The brunette from earlier, yes. He teleported in front of her, noshocking the girl. You're the clumsy guy from earlier. The brown-haired examinee said. Why, thanks for the help. Izuku waved while running to the direction of the fake city to fight some robots. He was now in front of a robot. Target acquired. Commencing attack, said the one-pointer. Izuku smirked at the charging robot and uses his cloning technique to split himself in half, completely dodging the robot crashing to the floor. Izuku's clone fused back together with him and finished the robot with a ki blast, gaining his first point of the entrance exam. Time passed, and Izuku had managed to get himself some points, but Izuku never felt like he could relax. He still might fail. Then suddenly the whole area began shaking as a huge robot appeared, completely overshadowing the rest of the city with its sheer size, and everyone started to run away, with Izuku following the crowd. When making one final look at the giant, he saw the girl. He can't just leave her to die. Izuku used instant transmission to quickly get to her. Quick, grab my hand, said Izuku in a tense voice. She listened but wasn't prepared to be teleported out of the rubble and near a boy with glasses. The entrance exam had finished. Thank you. You saved my butt back there, but geez, my leg is pretty hurt, the girl thanked Izuku. Thanks, I owed you one for earlier. Oh, and hold on, Izuku said, putting his hands forward, focusing intensely, suddenly healing her injuries. They're healed. But I thought teleportation was your quirk, the girl asked. Oh, I have a quirk called spirit control. By shifting, splitting, and growing the spirit, Izuku explained his quirk. Tenya Ida examined Izuku and the brunette, amazed by the green-hair boy bravery and his amazing quirk. You have amazing braveness. You have shown amazing potential to be a great hero. Ida entered the conversation. Apologies, how rude of me to not introduce myself. Tenya Ida, hoping to enter the hero course, Ida said, throwing his hand like a robot. Izuku Midoriya. Akiko Uraraka. The three introduced themselves, Izuku seeming to gain new friends even before he even got into UA. Izuku liked this new start compared to his middle school years already, and he wasn't even sure he is in yet. Izuku returned home from his long day trying to relax a bit, and his techniques drained a lot from him today. But at least he got Ida and Uraraka's contacts. He has a girl's number. Izuku blushed at the thought of it. He may have met stranger stuff like literal aliens, but talking to girls is on another level for him. Time passed, and finally a letter came. Izuku, it finally came. Inko Midoriya said with a letter in her hands. Izuku held the letter and managed to get the letter open with a strange item on the desk which suddenly revealed All Might as a hologram. I am here as a projection, All Might said. All Might? This is from UA, right? Izuku said, surprised that All Might was in a UA projection. Actually, I came to this town to work at UA. All Might informed him as a projection. Izuku couldn't believe it. All Might himself is going to work as a teacher. Will All Might be his teacher? Congratulations, young Midoriya, you have passed the written exam and the practical exam, gaining 62 villain points and 0 rescue points with a healthy 6th place. Well done, kid. You passed. Come, young Midoriya, this is your hero academia, All Might said proudly. Izuku cried. Not of sadness but of joy. After years of mental abuse from his classmate, he proved them wrong as he passed the UA entrance exams. Izuku thanked his mother, All Might, and Paibara-sensei for giving him a chance as a hero. Izuku put on his UA uniform and yellow backpack, ready to head to UA for the actual first time. Alright, Mom, I'm leaving for UA. Izuku said goodbye to his mother. Izuku made some distance between him and his house before running into an alleyway and using instant transmission to Uraraka or Ida's key and found Ida, so he teleported to his location. Ida was already near UA. As a student of UA, he had to set an example for the school and his own family's reputation by coming to UA extra earlier than anyone else. Hi, Ida. He was caught off guard by Izuku suddenly being right behind Ida, which did scare him for a second. Greetings, Midoriya. You caught me off guard. I should be more aware of my surroundings as a future hero. Ida greeted Izuku. No, it's fine, Ida. While we are already near UA, even 25 minutes before class starts, Izuku said. Yes, as we need to set an example for the rest of our class. Also, Midoriya, what class are you in? Ida wondered. 1A, you? 1A2, it's an honor to be in the same class as you, Midoriya, Ida said, proud of Izuku. Yeah, you too, Izuku said, awkwardly clear, weirded out by Ida's praise. Izuku and Ida appeared in front of class 1A with Ida giving the directions there. Izuku and Ida had time to set up and find their seats. Everything seemed quiet till Bakugo showed up and put his feet up on his desk without a care in the world, but this clearly upset Ida, who walked up to Bakugo. Izuku panicked at the thought of Ida talking to Bakugo, but maybe Bakugo has calmed down since he is at UA, but the condition his UA uniform is in says otherwise. It's the first day and you're already disrespecting this academy by scuffing school property, you cretin. Ida told Bakugo off like he was the teacher himself. You're kidding me, right? Did your old school put a big stick up your rear? Bakugo said as angrily as always. Okay, let's start this over. It's clear we started off on the wrong foot. I'm Tenure Ida from the Sumi Private Academy. It's nice to meet you, Ida greeted the blondie. Sumi Private Academy, huh? So you must think you're better than me because you went to some fancy private school. I'm gonna have fun tearing you a new one throughout this year. Bakugo mocked Ida. You would threaten me? Your own classmate. Are you sure you're in the right place and not UA? Ida felt offended, but Izuku walked in between them. Okay, everyone calmed down. Izuku tried to ease the tension. You, Bakugo said with a glare. Oh no, where have you been hiding that quirk of yours all this time? Bakugo interrogated Izuku. And my quirk just manifested at the time. That's why I accidentally teleported to your house, Izuku said, trying to convince Bakugo. What else was he going to say? Oh hey, Konchin, I just learned some techniques from an alien planet. That would be much harder to convince someone than that. Bakugo only stayed back with disgust. Did this nerd think he was too good to show off his quirk? It'll show DQ that he is too pathetic for UA. Shortly afterwards, Izuku met Uraraka again, blushing at how nice she looks in the UA uniform. Then a caterpillar walked it. No, that ain't no caterpillar, that's a person. If you're just here to make friends, then you can pack up your stuff now. So the man in a bored tone, welcome to UA's hero course. It took 8 seconds before you all shut up. That's not going to work. Time is precious. Rational students would understand that by now. The man came out of his sleeping bag. Hello, I'm Shota Aizawa. Your teacher, Mr. Aizawa, introduced himself. Right now, let's get to it. Put these on and head outside. Aizawa shocked some students. What? A quirk assessment test, said the entire class. But the orientation. We're going to miss it, Mr. Aizawa. Uraraka asked, wondering why Mr. Aizawa will skip the orientation. If you really want to make the big leagues, you can't waste time on pointless ceremonies. Here at U.A, we're not tethered to traditions. That means I get to run my class however I see fit. You've been taking standardized tests all your life, but you never got to use your quirks in physical exams before. Everyone is still trying to pretend we're all created equal by not letting those with the most power excel. It's not rational. One day, the Ministry of Education will learn. Aizawa told the class who was in charge around here. Not them. Fast forward, and everyone was outside in their UA sport uniforms. Bakugo, you managed to get the most points on the entrance exam. What was your farthest distance throw with a softball when you were in junior high? Aizawa said to the angry blonde student. 67 meters. I think, Bakugo told Aizawa. Great. Now try doing it with your quirk. Anything goes. Just stay inside the circle. Go on. You're wasting precious time for everyone, Aizawa explained. All right. Man, you asked for it. Bakugo used all his power into the ball. 705 meters. Whoa, 705 meters. Are you kidding me? Asked Denki Kaminari. I want to go. That looks like fun. The acid quirk user Mina Ashido said with excitement. So this looks fun, huh? You have 3 years to become a hero. You think it's going to be all games and playtime? You idiots. Today, you'll compete in 8 physical tests to determine your potential as a hero. Whoever comes in last has none and will be expelled from UA, so we don't have time for people who lack potential, Aizawa said harshly. Some protected, but Aizawa responded as harshly as last time. Oh, and you think natural disasters are then? Or power-hungry villains? Or catastrophic accidents that wipe out whole cities? No, the world is full of unfairness. It's a hero's job to try and combat that unfairness. If you want to be a hero, you've got to push yourself to the brink. For the next 3 years, UA will throw one terrible hardship after another at you. So go beyond, plus ultra style. Give me an excuse for me to not expel you. Now then, we're wasting time by talking. Let the games begin. Aizawa responded with full force. Izuku had scored fairly above average in most of the test, using his training to his advantage. Now he made it to the ball throw. It was Izuku's turn. As long as he stays in the circle. Izuku threw the ball, and when it seemed to hit its peak, something appeared in the sky. It was Izuku. No. Izuku was still in the line. It was Izuku's clone who threw the ball up again alongside a key blast, along with it gaining an impressive score. An impressive 706.1. Of course, Bakugo was angry at Deku beating him in the ball test, with Aizawa revealing himself as the underground hero Eraserhead to restrain Bakugo by using his bandages. Izuku had placed 16th place, not compared to Yorozu, Todoroki, or Bakugo, but a good start for someone who was quirkless just 10 months ago. But it wasn't so good for a short purple kid named Mineta, poor guy. By the way, I was lying about the expulsion. It was a rational deception to draw out the upper limits of your quirks, Aizawa explained, making Mineta relax, and everyone else shocked. What? Most of the class said in unison. Of course that was a lie. It should have been obvious if you just thought it through. Yoorozu said. Afterwards, Izuku, Okiko, and Tenya were at the train station together talking about the day. During their conversations, Uraraka brought up why Bakugo calls Izuku Deku, with Izuku explaining the meaning of it, but Uraraka thought otherwise. Sorry, but it sounds like the Japanese word for you can do it. It's kinda cute, Uraraka said with enthusiasm. Izuku was a blushing mess once again, but also inspired, finding a new meaning in it. Coming through the door like a normal person, All Might entered completely normal way. The rest of class won aghast at the sight of All Might. It's All Might, Kaminari said. Wow, it's true. He really is a teacher, said a surprised Kirishima. That's a costume from the Silver Age, isn't it? Asui said. Its style is so different. It's giving me goosebumps, said Ojiro. I teach hero basic training. It is a subject where you train in different ways to learn the basics of being a hero. You will take the most units of this subject. Let's get right into it. This is what we'll do today. Combat training, All Might explained with his signature attitude. And to go with that are these costumes made based on your quirk registrations and requests you sent in before school started. All Might explained with the class happy to finally test on some hero costumes. After you change, gather in ground beta, All Might told his students. Yes, sir. The entire class said in unison. Izuku took inspiration from the clothes he wore under his Master Pybro, but the armor on his chest had a green tint to it and his pants were black and less baggy than before. Izuku had appeared on the training ground with a pleasant greeting by the others. They say the clothes make the man, young men and ladies. Be fully aware. From now on, you are heroes. That's great, everyone. You all look cool. Now, shall we begin, you zygotes? All Might appreciated the heroes of the future. It turns out they were doing fights against each other, with one group being the heroes while one being the villains. The heroes had to stop the bomb while the villains had to prevent the heroes from deactivating it with the heroes on a time limit. Each student was split into groups of 2, with Izuku being with his best friend Okiko Uraraka, and against Okitsuki Bakugo and Tenyu Ida. This was going to be interesting to say the least. Now, let's start the indoor person-to-person combat training with Team A and Team D. All Might began the test. Uraraka, is it okay if you deal with Ida? I should be able to buy some time for you, Izuku asked. Yeah, sure, Uraraka said. Uraraka grabbed onto Izuku and they teleported over to where Ida was. What the, those heroes are ruining our plan. Ida acted, trying to get into the role of villain. Oh, if it isn't Deku, I was going to look for you, but since you're already here, why not just start now? Bakugo said with a grin on his face, charging right at Izuku with an explosion ready. Izuku countered by charging a ki blast with both ball of energy exploding in each other's face, with Izuku pushing Bakugo out of the area where Uraraka and Ida are. Bakugo tries to attack Izuku, but he keeps on missing due to Izuku using instant transmission to teleport around him. Stop running like a coward, Deku. Come and face me like a man, Bakugo said angrily. Well, you are going to fight me, just not one of me, Izuku said, duplicating himself into 5, charging at Bakugo, which is extremely effective due to the clones' incredible teamwork. They are beating Bakugo, not giving him the chance to use his explosions. One of Izuku's clones turns giant and grabs Bakugo in place, unable to get out of the clone's tight grip. The original Izuku used this to help Uraraka, instant transitioning to Ida, delivering a punch to the face. Uraraka now, Izuku yelled, holding on to Ida as Uraraka held onto the bomb, with Team A coming out victories. The clone holding Bakugo disappeared, causing Bakugo to fall onto the floor. I lost to Deku. Bakugo tried to think of what just happened. Izuku simply toyed with him like one of his All Might action figures. Izuku lied on the floor, tired after using so much ki against Bakugo. Deku-kun, are you okay? Uraraka asked. Yeah, just really drained. Also sorry for the cheap shot, Ida, Izuku said back. No problem, Midoriya. Cheap shot or not, it was for a good cause. Ida broke his villain act. Bakugo had to go to recovery for some slight damage to his bones after the giant Izuku clone had a tight grip of him, and Izuku didn't really need to go to recovery girl, thinking he would regain his ki throughout the day. Anyone notice that Bakugo hasn't come back yet? Kirishima wonders. Midoriya, did you break his ribs or something? Kaminari asked Midoriya. No, I didn't do anything that bad. He must be somewhere else, Izuku said while putting 2 fingers on his head to try and sense Bakugo's ki. Found him, is just left UA grounds. Izuku says out loud. Wait, you're not gonna and is gone before Kirishima could ask. Izuku was already gone. Meanwhile, stupid Deku thinking is better than me, Bakugo said before Izuku appeared, causing Bakugo to jump. What the Deku? Bakugo yelled at Izuku. Kaken, why are you leaving so early? Izuku questioned with concern in his voice. Better question. Where were you hiding this quirk for this entire decade? Bakugo ignores the question. It just manifested after the sludge incident. Remember when I accidentally teleported into your room? Izuku tries to convince Bakugo. I don't believe it. You can't just understand and do all that stuff in just 10 months. You've been hiding this from me since we were kids, thinking you were too good to show me. Bakugo responded. Kak and I don't look down on you. You are truly amazing and I admire your courage and power. All I ever wanted was to be friends with you. Izuku told Bakugo the truth. Oh. Just remember this, Deku. When we fight next time, I'm going to win. Bakugo said, filled with determination. Izuku only smiled back as he saw Bakugo leave, hoping that one day they could call each other friends again like old times. Some time passed since Izuku talked to Bakugo, and Aizawa had put a huge task for Class 1A, choosing a class representative. Since it is Class 1A, of course this turned chaotic. Okay class, today you need to elect a representative. The representative title is a chance for you to gain extra recognition at UA. Aizawa told the class, do it anyway. As long as you have elected your people and it doesn't bother me. Aizawa finished. Pick me. I want to be representative. Me too. I'll do it. I will do it best. The class turned into a bunch of loud mumbles until Ida got the idea of a fair and democratic vote, and when the votes were in, Izuku was surprised to say the least when the results were in. Izuku Midoriya first and Yaoyorozu Momo second, making Izuku the class rep and Yaoyorozu as vice rep. The lesson was over and now it was break for the class. I don't know that I can handle being class rep for the whole class, Izuku worried. Don't doubt yourself, Midoriya. I have full belief that you are the best suited for the role of class representative, Ida reassured him. Oh thanks, Ida. By the way, Ida, why are you so formal? Izuku wondered about Ida's strictness ever since the entrance exam. Well, yes, I'm a part of Ida family, and I fears it will change how others view me and my brother. Ingenium, Ida admitted. Brother of Ingenium? Wow, that must be tough living up to the reputation. Such a great pro hero, Izuku complimented Ida's brother. Then suddenly the alarm started ringing, meaning someone had infiltrated UA. Was it a villain? Unsurprisingly, everyone panicked. Ida had noticed that it was just the media, but Ida couldn't gain the attention of the students. Then Izuku quickly thought of an idea using his quirk. Izuku cloned himself, and that clone used the gigantification technique to block the exit and also give the original Izuku a lift up the top of the exit. Everyone, it's just the media. So can we calm down, please? Izuku stuttered at talking to such a large group of people. Everyone calmed down and returned to class later on when the break was over. Izuku was more confident in being the class representative. Maybe Ida was right. When Class 1A returned, they were surprised to hear that they were going to the unforeseen simulation joint to test themselves and their quirks in dangerous environments. When they arrived at UA, they were greeted by Pro Hero 13. I can't wait to show you what's inside, 13 said. After her explanation from 13 about her quirk and the class task in the USJ, a portal appeared. Has the exercise already started? Kirishima asked his teacher. 13. Protect the students. Stay back. This is real. Those are actual villains. Eraserhead told the class. What? Real villains? There's no way. How could so many of them get into a UA facility this secure? They must have a quirk like Midoriya or something, Kirishima wondered. 13. Get them out of here and alert the main campus. Aizawa went to fight the villains. 13 and the students went to go and leave the USJ, but were blocked by a purple-flamed villain who proceeded to throw all of the students into different parts of the USJ, with Midoriya landing in the water, being grabbed by Zu, and also seeing Mineta. Asui, it's great to see you. Now it's time to regroup the class. Grab onto me, everyone. Izuku put his 2 fingers on his forehead, locating 13. Zu and Mineta grabbed onto Izuku and teleported to 13, but finding 13 being sucked into her own black hole by the purple flame villain Kurogiri after trying to give Ida enough time to escape the USJ and get help. Izuku used instant transmission to teleport 13 out of her own black hole. 13, are you okay? Izuku asked 13. Yeah, I'm fine, go and help your friends, 13 told Izuku. Uraraka, what are we trying to do? Izuku talked to Uraraka while they are trying to fight Kurogiri. We need to hold off the villain so Ida can go and get help, Uraraka explained to Izuku. If only I could hold him so Ida could. Izuku then remembered the fight against Bakugo and instantly teleported to Kurogiri, putting him in a full Nelson, while Izuku then grew in size using his gigantification technique, grabbing Kurogiri like a toy, stopping him from teleported. Did he just remember he could do that? Zero asked. Midoriya is an idiot, Ashido said jokingly. Hey Zero, mind giving me some tape? Izuku asked Zero. Oh yeah, sure. Zero wrapped Kurogiri in his tape, giving Izuku the force and speed to swing Kurogiri out of the USJ, breaking the glass on top of the building. Then Izuku went back to normal size. Okay, I'm going to go and help everyone else. Izuku teleported away to help his classmate. Midoriya first senses the strongest key signatures out of the student, being Bakugo and Kirishima. Yo Midoriya, glad to see you're alive. You come to help? Kirishima asked just after beating a villain. Well, kinda. I'm teleporting everyone to the entrance. I dealt with the guy that spread everyone across the building, Izuku told Kirishima. Wow Izuku, that's manly of you to do that. Kirishima complimented Izuku. It's no problem. Izuku tries to brush it off. Then Izuku senses something coming towards them, but he can't see it. Bakugo then just grabs the invisible villain, causing it to decloak. Wow, thanks Kakin, Izuku said happily while Bakugo ignores the compliment. Just take me to the entrance, Bakugo said as him and Kirishima grab onto Izuku as he teleports them to the entrance. Then Izuku travels to meet Todoroki, interrogating the villains. Are you done? Izuku asked to Todoroki. Yes, they don't have any more useful information anyway, Todoroki said without emotion, putting his hand on Izuku's shoulder and meeting the others at the entrance. Izuku meets Jiro, Yorozu, and Kaminari but covers his eyes when realizing Yorozu's costume is torn and Jiro calls Izuku a perv. They all go to the entrance. After Izuku had finished collecting his classmate, but Mr. Aizawa's ki was draining rapidly, making Izuku go and see the problem. Mr. A's. Oh god, Mr. Aizawa. Izuku saw his teacher being ragdolled by a monster. In a pool of his own vital fluid. Izuku quickly goes in and steals Aizawa from the villains, taking him to 13 with Izuku using some of his healing abilities to put Aizawa in stable condition. Izuku came back to hold off the villains. Oh, it's one of those students. Explain what happened to Kurogiri. Shigaraki said angrily. I took care of your villain friend. Since Mr. Aizawa is out of commission, then that means the class rep has to take responsibility for everyone's safety. Izuku said. Oh, look, a kid playing hero. Nomyu, kill him. Shigaraki mocked Izuku. Oh no, Izuku barely dodged the Nomyu, shocked at its speed, but its ki feels like there's many people in the Nomus body. It's like what Paibara-sensei said about fusions. Flashback. This is Force Spirit Fission, a technique. It allows the user to separate and manipulate energy from their target, granting them the ability to do things such as undo fusions and absorptions. This is a very advanced technique. Are you sure you want to do this instead of focusing on mastering something else? Paibara. Yes, the more techniques I learn, the better. Please teach me at Paibara-sensei. Izuku said with determination. Izuku was forced on the defensive, realizing if he gets hit once he is down for the count. So it's a battle between who can get the first hit in. Izuku cloned himself 4x and all used gigantification to grab and hold the Nomyu in its arms and legs. The original Izuku charged in and delivered a gut punch to the beast. Hey, you think a little punch like yours will defeat my Nomyu? Shigaraki mocked Izuku again. No, but this will. Force Spirit Fission. Izuku yelled. Forced what now? Shigaraki said before witnessing the destruction of the Nomyu. Performing Spirit Fission on the Nomyu causes the Nomyu to deform. All the people who were made to create the Nomyu appear. I won. Izuku said, collapsing to the floor exhausted. He was shocked at his victory. That Nomyu was comparable. No surpasses All Might current power. Deku-kun. Are you alright? Where is the villain? Uraraka came with a few other students to see if Izuku is alright. I took care of it, Izuku asked his frog friend. Then the students noticed Shigaraki. Damn it, how can a new year beat the Nomyu meant to take out the #1 hero, not some first you with cheat? Shigaraki has a tantrum, and then looked to see a cloud of smoke appear at the entrance. It's fine now. I am here. All Might appeared with an angry expression. It's game over now. I gotta find Kurogiri so I can get out of here. Shigaraki made his escape. Now Izuku could rest with All Might around. Izuku returned to UA with a lot of praise from his classmates. Dude, you beat a All Might level threat by yourself. That's so manly, dude. Kirishima hypes up Izuku. It was nothing, it's part of my quirk to split things up. I didn't do a flashy Detroit smash or anything like that, Izuku stuttered. To the surprise of Class 1, Aizawa had appeared at class with a combined effort of Midoriya's healing and recovery girl healing most of Aizawa's wounds, only having some bandages. Aizawa announced the sports festival to the class. a time to show Japan's top heroes what UA students are made up, and it's good for pro heroes to scout for heroes. The timing of the event concerned some that the sports festival is happening just after an attack, but everyone seemed excited for it afterwards, especially Uraraka, who encouraged everyone to do their best at the festival, but at a scary tone. Afterwards, when Izuku, Ida, and Uraraka were hanging out during break, young Midoriya is here. The sudden appearance of All Might shocked the three. All Might, what are you doing here? Izuku wondered why All Might wanted to see him. Lunch? Young Midoriya All Might pulled out a tiny lunchbox. He'll be back in a bit, guys, Izuku told his friends. Then All Might and Izuku moved to a more secret location. Since you are the few who know my secret, All Might then turned into a skinny form, which Izuku was surprised to see. I'm here to apologize for what I said about you on that rooftop. You truly have what it has to be a hero, especially when you fought that Nomu, All Might said. Oh, I thank you, All Might, that means a lot to me, Izuku said. But I have something more bigger to ask of you, All Might said. Izuku was interested in what All Might had to say. I want you to inherit my power. All Might said. You want me to inherit what? Izuku said, confused. Calm down, Sha. All Might tried to silence Izuku so his biggest secret would not be exposed. Anyway, I want you to be the successor and become the next symbol of peace. This was big for Izuku. His hero wants him to be his successor and become the hero he always wanted to be. I refuse. I'm sorry, All Might, but I found my own path to become a hero. I want to learn more about the power I just discovered, Izuku told All Might. That is very mature of you, young Midoriya. Most kids your age would jump at the opportunity with none of the responsibilities and determination to back it up, All Might said. They'll keep this secret between us and any other teachers who know about this, Izuku promised. Thank you, young Midoriya, All Might thanked him. Hey Deku-kun, what was that about? Uraraka asked. It was nothing, it was about the USJ and thanking me for it, Izuku stuttered. Being praised by the #1 hero himself, Midoriya, you are truly an inspiration. Ida praised Izuku. Thanks, Ida, Izuku thanked his friend. The sports festival is in 2 weeks, so Izuku needs to train his hardest, especially when the whole world is going to see him. Izuku was off to his regular scheduled training, determined as ever to train his hardest. You want to learn more? I'm sorry, Midoriya, but I've taught you all I can. Perhaps you can better master instant transmission, but that's all. Maybe then you could travel across the galaxy to learn more techniques, Pybris said. Wow, across the galaxy? Izuku never thought about the galaxy, although it seemed pretty obvious there would be more life out in the galaxy as he was concentrated on hydration techniques. Over the first week, Izuku had attained better mastery over instant transmission through his hard work. Congratulations, Midoriya, you were an incredible student, and I can't wait to see you as a hero, Pybra praised Izuku. Thank you, Pybra-sensei, for making my life better, Izuku thanked his master and then teleported home ready to explore the galaxy. Alright. See you later, Uraraka. Izuku waved goodbye to his best friend after another day at UA. Izuku came home to his mother and gets ready to explore the galaxy in his Yardrat armor. He placed his fingers on his forehead, trying to find the closest key outside Earth or Yardrat. He was now on a planet with a pink sky and heard explosions in the distance. Izuku landed near a cliff, looking down upon what seemed to be 4 soldiers shooting up a village. You will bend to Lord Fridge rule, or you will perish. One of the soldiers said. We will never be slaves to that monster. An elderly alien said. Then you will die. The soldier charges up his weapon but is kicked into a house by Izuku, who couldn't stand to watch these civilians die. Who the hell are you? Never minded, you already signed your death wish, pal. The 3 remaining soldiers charged at Izuku, who in response cloned himself 2 times to fight them individually. Izuku's clones were easily disposing of the 3 soldiers. You saved us. Thank you. Who are you? The civilians seemed very happy that Izuku saved them, but Izuku left his guard down and the soldier from the beginning of the fight recovered from a kick and was about to shoot Izuku in the head until a mysterious figure came out of nowhere and shot the soldier with his stun gun, which shocked everyone at the sudden appearance of the figure. Oh, thank you very much, sir. You saved my life. Izuku thanked the stranger for saving his life. No, thank you for saving this village. If it wasn't for you, this entire village would have been destroyed. The figure puts his hand out and says his name, Agent Meruz. Izuku Midoriya, it's a pleasure to meet you. Izuku thanked his again. Say, Midoriya, have you ever heard about the Galactic Patrol? Meruz asked. The Galactic Patrol? Sorry, I haven't heard of that. Wait, am I breaking some quirk law? Worried Izuku. No, you ain't breaking any laws. I'm offering you an application to the Galactic Patrol. Meruz tries to calm down Izuku. Joining the Galactic Patrol? I'm sorry, I just want to travel around the space learning some techniques. Since I'm going to become a hero on Earth, Izuku refuses the generous job offer. So you come from Earth here? Well, I have an offer, Midoriya. I will train you, Meruz offered. Wow, really? Thank you so much, sir. But I only have 2 weeks, Izuku thanks Meruz. Don't worry, I know a place where you can 3 days worth of training in 1 day. So you can get around 2 weeks worth of training in around 5 days, Meruz says. Whoa. I didn't even know that was possible, Izuku said, writing that in his notebook. Time passed, and Izuku had finished his training with Meruz and still has some time to travel around the galaxy learning some techniques. The day of the sports festival had arrived, and Izuku was more ready than he would ever be. Looking at things objectively, I'm better than you. While you have a lot in terms of technique and abilities, I have the strength over you, Todoroki tells Izuku out of nowhere when they were preparing for the festival. Who? I don't want to be rivals, Todoroki, Izuku responds. We have to Midoriya. It's a battle of who will be the strongest person of Class 1A, and that is going to be me, Todoroki said. Why is Todoroki acting so weirdly all of a sudden? I get that the sports festival is a big thing, but we shouldn't start conflict. Maybe I can use that technique I learned to see what's wrong with him, Izuku thought. The classes from the Class 1A to the General Studies all appeared in the stadium with thousands of eyes looking down at them, and Katsuki Bakugo was chosen to speak. Oh, this isn't going to end well, all of Class 1A thought, even Aizawa. I pledge that I'll be number 1. Bakugo said without a sense of regret. Everyone in Class 1A just sighed in response. Now, let's get started right away. The first game is what you'd call a qualifier. The Pro Hero Midnight said. The first event was an obstacle course race with all 11 classes participating in it. The event began with Todoroki quickly freezing the competition with his quirk. Izuku, realizing he was unable to move with his legs, instant transmission to Todoroki location. Izuku also noticed Bakugo, Momo, Kirishima somehow, and Ioma also escaping Todoroki's ice. They all had arrived to see robots similar to the one in the entrance exam, but Izuku is not the same one from the entrance exam, and used a technique he learned while training with Meruz. He held his hand up into the air and charged his ki, creating a disc made up of ki. Ki Enzen. Izuku yelled as he threw the disc into the 0-pointers, cutting the robots like butter. Todoroki had also used his ice to freeze the 0-pointer, while Bakugo used an explosion to the robot's face to destroy it. The students approached a mountainy area which required some park hour. People with mobility quirks like Zu Asui, for example, were at a high advantage in this area, while others had to rely either on their own speed and mobility or using their quirks in smart ways like Bakugo or Todoroki. Izuku thought of using instant transmission, but he had a better idea. He used his ki Enzen again, but not as a weapon but a ride, as he jumped onto the object, riding it like a surfboard but in the air. Izuku had arrived at the next obstacle, landmines. Izuku, still riding his ki Enzen, was doing fine, but he was lacking behind Todoroki and Bakugo, who were going head-to-head. Izuku then used instant transmission to appear in front of Bakugo and Todoroki. Sorry, Kaken and Todoroki-san, but I'm winning, Izuku said before delivering a roundhouse kick to Bakugo, which also caused Todoroki to lose momentum. Izuku did it. He won first place in the obstacle course. A cavalry battle? I'm bad at those, said Kaminari. It's not an individual event, so I wonder how it'll work, wondered Zu. Cavalry battle, Mineta said. Let me explain. The participants can form teams of 2 to 4 people as they wish. It's basically the same as a regular cavalry battle. But the one thing that's different is, based on the results of the last game, each person has been assigned a point value. The 18-plus hero explained. A point-based system like the entrance exam. Huh? That's easy to understand, said Sato. In other words, each team is worth different points depending on who's on the team. Uraraka further explained the rules to her classmates. You guys don't hold back even though I'm talking. Huh? Yes, that's right. And the points assigned go up by 5 starting from the bottom, so 42nd place gets 5 points, and 41st gets 10 points. Explained Midnight, shocking everyone that Izuku got so much points. One thing Izuku didn't expect from getting first place was putting a huge target on himself by having over 10 million points compared to second place's 205 points, and the point value assigned to first place's 10 million. Midnight said, shocking everyone that this isn't going to be good. Izuku said to himself, realizing he won't be able to get any teammates due to no one wanted to have a huge target on them. I need to do something quick, too, about the current state where everyone is totally avoiding me, thought Izuku. Hey Deku-kun, wanna team up? Uraraka went up to her best friend. Oh Uraraka, are you sure you want to be with the person with a 10 million bounty on his head? A worried Deku said. If you keep teleporting whole time, then you'll win, right? Uraraka said. I think you're overestimating me, Uraraka. Izuku responded. Uraraka had joined Izuku's team, and they did try to convince Ida to join them as Ida wanted to challenge Izuku as a rival. Team up with me, person in first place. A pink-haired girl said, getting right in front of Izuku. Whoa, so close. Who are you? Izuku questioned. I am Mai Hatsune. From the support course, Mai introduces herself. The support course develops equipment that helps heroes deal with their quirks. Trust me, my babies could really help you guys out there, Mai promised, showing of her equipment. Your equipment would definitely be an advantage for us. Shoyu and Izuku accepted Mai's offer. Now we only need one more. Izuku thought, looking around for teammates. Hey Tokoyamai, would you like to join our team? Izuku offered the Dark Shadow user, and the bird-like user accepted the green-haired boy's offer. Izuku wrapped the bandana reading 10 million on his head while Tokumi, Uraraka, and Mai were below him. After all preparation was done, it was finally time for the cavalry battle to begin. Now let's Geo yelled present MIC, and Midnight said start. All teams began attacking and defending, mostly all going to attack Team Midoriya, one of them using their quirk to stick Midoriya's team in something resembling quirk sand as the team sunk. Izuku used instant transmission to get out of there. Great Midoriya. With your teleportation quirk, we should be able to stall for time. Uraraka complimented Midoriya, which made Midoriya blush. Suddenly Shoji appeared, charging right at Team Midoriya. Then Uraraka's foot was stuck by one of Mineta's ball, and even when Izuku teleported, it still stick to her, so Izuku tried using the jetpack to try and get rid, breaking the bottom of my special boots. Now Team Midoriya was in the air, and Bakugo was charging right at them. Tokomi used Dark Shadow to protect Team Midoriya from Bakugo's blast, leaving Bakugo falling in the air. Zero tried to bring Bakugo back in, but before he could bring him in, the tape was cut by Izuku. Izuku used the Kenzan to cut of Zero's tape, trying to get Bakugo out of the competition, but they managed to catch Bakugo before he could land on the floor. Afterwards, Todoroki's team, where coming towards Team Midoriya, Kaminari Electricity, was making Dark Shadow weak, leaving the defense up to Midoriya. Sunlight damages Dark Shadow. Wait, I got an idea. Everyone, close your eyes and stop using Dark Shadow. Midoriya had a plan. Midoriya jumped up into the air, and Todoroki used a push from his team to get to Midoriya's level. This is the end, Midoriya, Todoroki said coldly. No, I'm sorry, Todoroki, Izuku told Shoto, which left Shoto confused as Izuku closed his eyes and put his hands by each side of his head. Taioken. Suddenly a massive light covered all the sports festival, blinding Evione there, excluding Team Midoriya. OWMYIS was a shared thought to thousands of people, giving Midoriya's team time to escape. Midoriya could have taken Todoroki's points, but instead. What was that, Midoriya? You blinded everyone here, Uraraka said in shock. It's the Taioken. It's something you use with the power of the sun to blind people, but it takes a lot out of me, Izuku explained. By the time Todoroki's team recovered, the event was over and Team Midoriya came in first place. Yes, we did it. Uraraka and Mai both celebrated in unison while Tokumi congratulated Midoriya. Good job, Midoriya, we all did well, Tokumi complimented. Thanks, Izuku was thankful for the compliment. Midoriya, can we speak in private? Shoto Todoroki asked. Afterwards, Midoriya and Todoroki spoke in hallway. Why did you want to talk to me? Midoriya asked Shoto. I was outsmarted and outplayed, but most importantly overpowered by you, causing me to dare use my fire. Say, Midoriya, have you ever heard of quirk marriages? Todoroki asked. I know what you went through, Todoroki, Izuku said bluntly, shocking Shoto. What? Explain. Shoto demanded. I wanted to know why you are so serious about this, Todoroki, and why you wear blinded eye sorta. Read your mind. It's part of my sprit fishing quirk, and from what I saw. I'm sorry what you went through, Todoroki, with your parents, but it doesn't defy who you are as a person. You aren't Endeavor Jr., you are Shoto Todoroki, someone I would like to call my friend. Izuku admitted to Todoroki, and left, leaving Todoroki dumbfounded and questioning himself and his pledge. Izuku Midoriya. Just who are you? Final event, one-on-one fighting tournament. The final event was a tournament where participants competed against one another in one-on-one battles. The matchups were decided by lottery, but for some reason Meshirao Ojiro and Narinjiki Shota had resigned despite getting in the finals. Izuku walked up to Ojiro. Ojiro, why did you resign? Izuku asked. It doesn't feel earned, Ojiro responded. But it was clearly earned. You got enough points and helped defend your team, Izuku said back. It's that purple hair guy from General Studies. He went up to me and after speaking to me I blanked out and then it was the end of the cavalry battle, Ojiro explained. Izuku was starting to wonder what exactly Shinso's quirk is before he fights him, or else the fight would be one-sided in Shinso's favor. The first match was Midoriya versus Shinso, which was going to be interesting and a bit terrifying not knowing the mystery of your quirk. The two students walked onto the ring. Shinso starts to talk. So you are wondering about my quirk, huh? Shinso asked. Oh, I am, Izuku said. Gotcha was the word Shinso said before activating his quirk on Izuku. Izuku starts shacking and twitching. What is this guy? Izuku struggled to move or say anything. That's weird. Normally it instantly controls people, but you are different for some reason. Anyway, walk out of the ring, Shinso demands. Izuku's flared his Ki to try and overcome the mind control, shocking everyone. Ojiro was shocked to see that someone resisted Shinso's quirk while he instantly was controlled. Izuku's legs moved towards the end of the ring. Could this really be the end? In such a random way? Izuku thought before coming up with an idea. Izuku cloned himself into 3, which shocked Shinso. Since Shinso's mind control had a limit, he couldn't do all 3 of the clones. The 3 clones attacked and tackled Shinso out of the ring. You're pretty good, Shinso. Hope you can make it into the hero course with your awesome quirk, Izuku said, putting a hand out for Shinso to grab. Shinso only smiled and grabbed his hand. Shoto Todoroki versus Hunter Zero. Shoto walks out of his waiting room and thinks about Izuku's speech to him. Izuku's fight against Shinso and questions his oath to himself to never use his fire. You are acting disgracefully, Shoto, by not using your fire in the first and second events of the sports festival, and could have crushed that green-haired boy easily, Endeavor scolds. I won't need your fire. I will only fight with my fire, Shoto states. When the fight began with Hunter opening with a swift tape attack and wraps it around Todoroki, trying to eliminate him by ring out, but Shoto apologizes to Zero and then uses his feet to freeze the ground, which finds its way to Hunter, creating a burst that shakes the entire arena as his traps Hunter in a massive giant wave of ice. Shoto Todoroki is the winner. Denki Kaminari versus Ibara Shiozaki. Denki charges his electricity and uses his indiscriminate shock 1.3 million volts technique, with Ibara simply uses her hair to create a shield to defend against the volts, and Kaminari overused his quirk, making it easy for Ibara to eliminate him by ring out. Ibara Shiozaki is the winner. Tenya Ida versus Maihatsume. While this may seem like an easy fight for Ida, but that would be underestimating Mai's inventions, who are able to dodge Ida, and Mai shows off her inventions to the public while doing this through a MIC. These include her hydraulic braces, auto balances, electromagnetic souls, and capture gun. Mai eventually forfeits by leaving the ring after showing off all of her inventions. Although Ida won technically, it was embarrassment for Ida to become a human guinea pig for Mai. Yuga Aoyama versus Mina Ashido. Yuga repeatedly fires his beam, but Mina is able to dodge him swiftly, but over time Aoyama's stomach begins to hurt after overusage, and Mina capitalizes on it, throwing acid on his belt and finishing the match with an uppercut. Mina Ashido wins. Fumikage Tokurami versus Momo Ueorozu. Toko calls out Dark Shadow immediately to attack Momo, but Momo creates a shield that stops Dark Shadow, but Dark Shadow circles back around and strikes her shield before she can focus on a counter and knocks her shield off of her arm. Momo creates another shield and pole to do an offensive, but at ISNT attacking as Momo hadn't realized she was knocked out of bounds. Fumikage is the winner. Ahiro Kirishima versus Tetsu. As expected, when you put two people with basically the same quirks against each other and it ends with a tie, and it would be decided who won after an arm wrestle. Katsuki Bakugo vs. Ochiko Uraraka. Uraraka immediately rushes at Bakugo, who is forced to counter with an explosion which Uraraka dodges due to knowing his fighting pattern, but is still damaged by the splash damage by the explosions and is blown back. But Uraraka continuously is on the offensive even if she is getting damaged constantly. In a brilliant move, it turns out Okiko kept low to the ground, so Katsuki's explosions would destroy the floor of the stage, so she would then be able to use them as projectiles against Bakugo as she releases a meteor shower upon Bakugo, but he is able to counter with his explosions. Unfortunately for the brunette, she was at her limit, but Bakugo commends her for her skill, but she still wouldn't give up without a fight, crawling to fight Bakugo till she went unconscious. Katsuki Bakugo is the winner. Ahiro Kirishima vs. Tetsu Round 2. Ahiro and Tetsu arm wrestle to decide the winner, with Tetsu's metal arm breaking and Kirishima winning the match. Izuku is waiting outside in the waiting room for Uraraka's recover, feeling deep care towards his friend, but knowing that he has to fight Todoroki. But on his way he encounters a certain flaming hero, a face Izuku is all familiar with from his hero journals and reading of Shoto's memories. Endeavor. It's my son's duty to surpass All Might to become the number one hero, and his match with you will prove it. Don't hold back against Shoto, as it will be the trigger for Shoto to unleash his true power. Endeavor tells Izuku. Why you treat your son like that? You brought so much pain to your family for the sake of an worthy heir with a perfect quirk to be the next number one hero, and what I saw from reading his mind, especially with you in it, Izuku admits to Endeavor, who is shocked by his extensive knowledge of what happened. How? And what right do you get to know about it? Endeavor had a sudden charge and attitude towards Izuku. When I blinded everyone in the previous event, I wanted to know what was up with Todoroki and used my spirit control quirk to read his mind, and I saw a lot of what he was going through, and I want to save Todoroki and be friends, Izuku told, and left Endeavor to get ready for his battle with Todoroki. Thanks for waiting, everybody. Present MIC thank the audience. In this corner is the man who won a huge victory in the first round and literally left the audience frozen, Shoto Todoroki. Present MIC introduced the white red-haired colored boy Shoto Todoroki. On the other hand, this guy Bali made it past the first round against the purple-haired kid, Izuku Midoriya. Present MIC introduced the freckled boy. In the sports festival, both of these students have shown top-class performances. Now, start. Present MIC started the match. Shoto made the first move, creating a wave at ice to attack Izuku, who dodged it with his instant transmission, but Shoto kept Izuku on his toes, trying to drain Izuku of his power source, thinking he will be on the defense. When he tried the same attack, Izuku summoned the Kenzan that cut through the ice, nearly hitting Todoroki in the process, who jumped out of the way, but then Izuku appeared in the air using teleportation and gut-punched Todoroki and thrown him back into the ring, and he stood back up to fight Izuku. When Izuku levitated back down, he saw Todoroki's ice finally taking a strain on Shoto. You are overusing your quirk, Todoroki. You need to realize you can't beat me without using your other side, and I know how you wanted to pledge yourself to never use it, but what if there is a situation where you need to use it? Is your pledge going to get in the way of saving innocent lives? Izuku told. Shut up. I'm never going to use my old man's quirk, Todoroki told Izuku as he unleashed a bigger wave of ice, which Izuku blasted away with a large ki blast. You're trembling, Todoroki. Everyone is giving their all in this tournament, while you are still at half of your power, so come at me with everything you've got, Todoroki, Izuku shouted. Did my old man bribe you to do this? Todoroki said while running in for an attack, which any experienced fighter like Izuku and Bakugo could tell were predictable. Izuku dodged his punch and grabbed his arm and tossing him onto the ground, creating a crater with all the force Izuku put into it. Todoroki got back up and covered the ring in ice to get an advantage, pushing Izuku into the ice, making half of Izuku's PE uniform rip on the spiked ice. Izuku cloned himself into 6 surrounding Todoroki, and with their incredible coordination are able to put in some good hits, and before Todoroki uses ice to blow away all the Izuku clones, all disappearing as they return to the original Izuku. Why are you going this far? Todoroki questioned. Because I want to live up to expectations and show that your old man has nothing to do with this fight, were the words Izuku said as he gut punches Todoroki, sending him back more. Right now, I think you should stop screwing around. Izuku yells out. Todoroki has a flashback to his father's abuse and his mother's care of him. It's your power, Todoroki, not his. Izuku yells, which was the final trigger for Todoroki. Flames erupted from Todoroki, coming as a shock to everyone. Izuku smiled. I want to be a hero, too. Todoroki announces to Midoriya with the biggest grin Midoriya had ever seen from the white and red-haired boy. Izuku lets out a smirk, hee. It's about time, Todoroki. Now I can show off some new moves as well, Izuku said as he flared his aura and goes into a loose Mabu stance. Meanwhile in space, Meruz watched his student show an incredible display of heroism on a GodTube livestream and was glad that all of his training with him paid off. Agent Meruz, are you ready? The ship is getting close to Planet Soup, fellow Galactic Patrol Officer Jocko asked. Yes. Coming. Meruz turned off his GodTube TV to go on another mission. Endeavor let out a smile from the crowd. Have you finally accepted yourself? With my vital fluid, you will surpass me. He shouts. Don't blame me for what happens next, Midoriya, Todoroki says. Hee. I should say the same thing for you, Todoroki. Now come at me with your full power, Izuku said. Todoroki sends large waves of ice and fire at the same time towards Izuku. Izuku flew right into the wave of ice, surfing off the ice and performing a new technique. Izuku put his hands in a ball-shaped. A blue ball of energy appeared in Izuku's hands. The ball of energy got bigger. For a second, Izuku had a silver glow in his eyes, as Izuku able to dodge all of Todoroki's attacks mid-E while charging his technique. Izuku was getting closer to Todoroki's location, trying to land the hit head-on while Todoroki sent a wave of fire to Midoriya which seemed undodgeable. Cementos and Midnight tried to stop the battle with their quirks, fearing that they will kill each other. Midoriya. Thank you, Todoroki thought before finally sending all he had at Izuku. With the silver glow in his eyes, he able to barely dodge the flames. Izuku lets out a powerful blue beam out of his hands, completely destroying the entire ring and hitting Todoroki head-on, sending Todoroki out of the arena and into the walls, and a large fog covered the entire sports festival arena. What happened? Asked Yorozu alongside the others from Class A and B from the stands. The fog disappeared, revealed Todoroki against a heavily damaged wall with Izuku standing in the heavily damaged ring, patting off any fire that got on his heavily damaged uniform. Izuku, Midoriya is the winner present. MIC screamed. Izuku fell to his knees, panting with steam coming out of his body. Is the steam from Todoroki's fire, or was it something else? Wondered Izuku. Izuku jumped out of the ring to see if Todoroki is alright. That Kamehameha must have knocked him unconscious, Izuku thought, going to him and using his healing technique he learned on Yardrat on the ice and fire user. Did I lose? Todoroki asked. Technically yes, but overcoming your trauma and becoming a better hero afterward. I would call this a win for you, Izuku smiled as he reached out his hand for Shoto to grab. Shoto smiled and grabbed his hand to get up. Tenya Ida versus Ibara Shiozaki. The battle starts with Ibara attacking from afar using her vines to attack Ida, but he had already activated Recipro Boast running behind Ibara and then grabs her shoulders and swiftly runs towards the edge and pushes her out of bounds. Tenya Ida wins. Fumikage Tokomi versus Mina Ashido. The battle starts with Tokomi activating Dark Shadow to attack Mina, and she tries to counter with her acid, but Dark Shadow is easily able to dodge her acid and easily eliminating her. Fumikage Tokomi wins. Katsuki Bakugo versus Ahiro Kirishima. The battle starts, and both participants immediately start using their quirks and trade blows, but Kirishima is able to tank Bakugo's explosions, even being able to cut Bakugo cheek and forces Bakugo onto the defensive, but has managed to finally damage Kirishima, explaining how Kirishima has been pushing his quirk to its limits by using it the entire match and starts going on the offensive, knowing Kirishima's defense will break at any moment. He unleashes a barrage of explosions, putting a lot more strain on his quirk until Bakugo finds the perfect timing and eliminates Kirishima. Katsuki Bakugo is the winner. Midoriya Ida calls out to Midoriya exiting the changing rooms after getting a brand new PE uniform after his previous one was tattered and broken from his battle with Todoroki. Oh hey Ida, you did great in your battle with Ibara, Midoriya complimented. Thank you. Hopefully I will show it in our match that Todoroki and Bakugo aren't the only ones you should be looking out for, Ida says. Midoriya smirks. He'll be looking forward to it, and I bet your brother is gonna be proud of you. Unfortunately, I am unable to contact my brother since he is busy with hero work. But it might be better if I can tell my brother that I won in person. Ida smiles thinking about it. Did you have any trouble keeping up with my battle against Todoroki? Midoriya asked. No? Ida asked confused. Then we should have a good battle. Izuku smirked. Sometime later, both Izuku, Midoriya, and Tenya Ida stand on opposite sides of the ring, both waiting in anticipation to start the battle. Start! Midnight signaled. Both Ida and Midoriya quickly turned into blurs as they started their battle. Ida went in for a kick, but Izuku is able to guard himself from the attack. But Ida used his engines to put more pressure onto Izuku's arm, forcing Izuku near the edge of the ring. Izuku realized he might be in trouble, so he used instant transmission to teleport away, nearly making Ida fall out too, but is able to drift away from the end of the ring towards the middle of the ring. Izuku reappeared out of instant transmission to seemingly clone himself into 7 clones, all surrounding Ida. How are those clones moving so fast? And are see-through like a ghost? Kaminari questioned from the stands. It doesn't seem to be his cloning ability, it must be something new. Uraraka responded. Ida went to attack one of the clones, but it disappeared. What the Ida was then punched in the face by one of the clones. Ida searched for what would be the real Izuku, but they seemed to be very fast. Mai Hatsune was one of the spectators of the match, and with her quirk vision allowed her to see the proper Izuku. Clever tactic. Midoriya has their Ida needs to find the true Midoriya unless he wants to be continuously bullied by Green's copies. Mai explained to the rest of 1A. Ida then activated reciprocal bows to hit all the Izukus in the circle, which succeed, destroying all the clones alongside, delivering a good kick to Izuku's face, sending him near the end of the ring. Izuku rubbed the stains off his face and formed a smirk on his face. I got to give it to you, Ida. You have exceeded my expectations. Should have expected that from the brother of Ingenium. Izuku complimented. But here's the problem. You are fast on the ground, but not in the air, Izuku said before jumping into the air and releasing a large barrage of ki blast onto the ring, keeping Ida on his toes until there wasn't much left of the arena, forcing Ida into the sky. Bakugo examined the battle of Deku vs 4 Eyes and figured out his plan to put Ida in a vulnerable state and eliminate him. When Ida looked up, he noticed Izuku's disappearance and then heard Cannonball. Then Izuku appeared out of nowhere, flying down with intense velocity, planting his feet deep into Ida's gut, sending him flying out of the arena. Izuku. Midoriya is the winner. Present MIC congratulates. Izuku walks to Ida to see if he is okay. You alright, Ida? Asked a worried Izuku. Thank you, Midoriya, but I gotta call my brother about something, Ida replies. Izuku looks worried and a bit sad that Ida thinks he let his family down. Katsuki. Bakugo vs Fumikage. Tokoyami. Tokomi begins with attempting to attack Bakugo with Dark Shadow, but Bakugo counters with an explosions and forces them back with a barrage of explosions. Due to the light Bakugo produces, Tokomi is unable to go on the offensive. Bakugo propels himself using his quirk to fly towards Tokomi and attacks Dark Shadow with an explosion mid-air. Tokomi realizes Bakugo is trying to wear him down with his explosions and counterattacks with Dark Shadow, but Bakugo responds with his stun grenade attack, which weakens Dark Shadow and therefore Tokomi's defense. Bakugo tackles Tokomi and grabs his beak, holding it in a steady explosion in his hand to produce enough light to keep Dark Shadow weakened. Tokomi eventually surrenders and Katsuki. Bakugo is the victor. So the next battle is another fated battle between rivals. Mina asked Midoriya, reminding Izuku about their first fight. I guess I will have to fight Kaken again, huh? He has improved a lot since the last time we fought, and it's gonna be as tough as Todoroki, if not harder, Izuku said with a sweat falling down his face. So, this was the end of part 1 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.